there's absolutely nothing wrong with being ordinary. Everyone knows the social climate that we live in. It's very focused on overachievement and being super productive, being like ahead of the curve, being a millionaire by 20, like just stupid shit that doesn't actually matter, and it doesn't really determine the quality of your experience of life, I find a lot of freedom in being ordinary, a lot of sadness, I'm not gonna lie, because just because, you feel like when you accept the ordinary parts of you, you feel like you're going to be passed over, or you're not as worth being seen or experienced or loved or whatever. But I don't know, I kind of like it, I kind of love it, because it just means that you can be where you are, like where your feet are. You can be there, and you can accept life on life's terms, like a fly. This is something I've been thinking about so much. The way that flies are kind of passed over and like overlooked as vermin or whatever. House flies, horse flies, green flies. I don't know what varieties of flies there are, like flying insects. We kind of overlook them because, they're small and they're kind of annoying and they don't really do much. But flies are actually designed with so much intricacy and intelligence, because they don't dwell. I've never seen a fly wallowing, they just kind of keep moving as they should. They don't dwell in one place longer than they should. They need to be light, they need to be free so they can go from place to place. And I think that's how most people are designed, is we're not meant to dwell. We're meant to be in the flow of life. Like when I think of creatures that really embody that, being in the flow of life, I think of flying creatures. I think of birds, and I think of flies, and I think of butterflies, and I think they're pretty rad. Like if you really think about it, and you really like observe. I keep going on about flies. If you really observe, like there's so many creatures that we overlook day to day, but every creature is designed so intelligently and with so much like, they not fulfill the purpose, but their strategy for living, it's not a conscious strategy. The way that they're designed, their strategy for living is it just works, It's very harmonious, that's the word I'm looking for, harmonious. So, yeah, just like a fly, you might feel overlooked, you might feel small, but the identity that you hold on to, like the super, like out there, bold, big, I don't know what else is praised, successful, like magnetic, all of those things, charismatic, all of those things that we look up to and we not strive for, but that we like secretly want. The version of you that's holding on to that is like an inflated version. It's not. The real you is so much more wonderful and so much more tangible and real and knowable and lovable. Did I say lovable twice? Lovable. And it's the version of you that comes out when you're not worried about all of those things that I talked about, when you're not worried about being ordinary, when you're just letting yourself be ordinary, These things are really hard to learn and integrate. Like I find myself, it's almost like an involuntary switch that goes off when I'm around people, you know, this is really embarrassing to admit, but yeah, I'm not gonna lie, when I'm around certain people that I feel like I need to impress, a version of me comes online that's like, you know, low-key annoying, and I don't like it. It's very inauthentic. There's some people that like, oh, so refreshing. There's some people you can be around that are so just easy to be with. Like, they don't expect anything of you. They're just like a witness. They're seeing you as they are. Strangers, loved ones, they're just there. They can see you as you are. They're not expecting you to perform. They're so accepting. I'm talking about myself. This is me, by the way. Just wonderful people, and I want more people like that in my life. If I'm being honest, like, those are the people that make life so easy. You can just breathe, you know. Yeah. And I want to be like that too, because I feel like it's increasingly rare, because I don't know if this is just, you know, a result of living in the city, but I feel as though a lot of people are just on all the time. They're like, people are always anxious and on edge and afraid that they're going to get found out for who they really are, which is like imperfect and bumbling and awkward. And I just think it's a great shame. I think it's a great shame. It's really hard to overcome because we're forced to play these roles and we get paid for the roles that we play. And you feel like if you're not doing a good enough job, or you're not convincing everyone of your role, that your pay is going to get docked or some shit. I don't know. It ruins people. But, you know, there's a lot that you learn in the process, I guess. So what I wanted to say, the message that I wanted to get across is, see if you can toy with the idea a bit that you're just like everyone else. And that is wonderful, because it means that you can connect with anyone. It means that you are a real human being and you don't need to do anything extraordinary. You don't need to do anything extraordinary to earn your existence, to earn your place as a human on this earth. Why is it shaking? Oh my god. Has it been shaking the whole time? Yeah, you don't need to do anything extraordinary because you're already here. I think the happiest people, when I look at older folks, the happiest people are not the ones who... I'm just going to embrace the fact that like the camera's going to be shaking now. When I look at older folks, I see that the people who are most content are not the ones who have denied their normalness and gone after the illusion of excellence. It's the people who have spent the years coming to terms with who they are right now, not some vision of who they could be if they locked in or if they achieved like a certain thing, like some arbitrary milestone. I think it's underappreciated, and we don't hear much from those people because the satisfaction and the contentment that you get is a lot quieter. It's a lot quieter but more enduring. It's like a harmony with your own soul, like within your own self. And it's very underrated. I think that's what people want when they go after all these things that are worldly and illusory. That's what people are looking for. They're looking for that peace, but that's not where it's found, which is kind of a sad joke, but that's not where you're going to find it. You're not going to find it out there. I really think that the places where we stay the people we stay around and the places that we stay around are really instrumental in shaping what we strive for, like what we go after, what we desire, what our goals are. And because of the system that we live in, people spend their lives going for the wrong thing. And because, it makes sense, because you need money and there is a sense of, I guess, like surface level security that you get from having a certain amount in the bank, or having being established in your field or whatever. And that, I think those are good things to have, but and I don't think that it's mutually exclusive. You can have both for sure, definitely you can, but you should not have one at the expense of the other. I think you should not have, you know what I mean. But this is the thing, there are pockets of society that are less glamorous, that are less in your face, maybe harder to find, but they are built around, they're truly healthy environments that foster growth and give you space to be yourself and to grow at the same time. And yeah, usually it is really they are a lot quieter, and there's no promotion and stuff, because these places aren't incentivized to become popular. I don't know if that makes sense, but I really think you have to find these places yourself. But they're out there, groups that are focused on healing and being well and just cultivating you, fostering your growth and mutual support and stuff, and not in a way where people are trying to change each other or tell each other. This is what I see so much of on YouTube and just on social media these days, is people telling you what the problem is, and I've been guilty of it myself, of consuming that content and trying to make that content, of people telling you what's wrong with you, what's wrong with your life, as if you and your life is a problem to be fixed. But that's not the way that's not how you get long-term growth. It's not through treating your life like a maths problem or whatever, or I don't know. That's not the way. And places that are dedicated to the opposite are maybe increasingly rare, or maybe not, maybe just not as visible. That's the word, not as visible. But they're out there, and it's so new to me because of where I'm at. Environments that are based on competition, or who is the loudest in the room, or surface level BS, networking. Not as beneficial to someone like me, who is still learning how to relate to people in a healthy way. I'm still learning to relate to myself in a healthy way. So yeah, I think that's it. I love anyone who's watching this video, and only if you've made it this far though. Only if you're seeing this part of the video. I love all people, and I think life is pretty rad. Pretty radical. So yeah, bye.